finally, I think a very interesting ethical question was raised. How is this technology different from any other technology in the history of civilization? And the point is that this is a direct intervention into the nature of being human, with implications on our descendants that will be unintended. And so the responsibilities in this case are rather unique, because we're changing biology, we're redirecting the course of evolution.
So this development, right, which occurred in the sort of starting really about a decade ago, has driven your use of AI, which you probably don't know. You use it every day when you use any form of speech synthesis, right? That's all AI driven. It doesn't do it with a dictionary. It literally has been trained with patterns.
So what we do know is that every other previous industrial revolution, we've had major problems that have been caused, and we've spent the next decade, sometimes centuries, trying to fix them. And the same is going to happen again. That's inevitable. There are going to be downsides to where we're going with technology innovation. The big problem, though, is we really don't understand the pace of things. In the past, we've had time to adjust to the new world with tech innovation. This time, we have so many innovations coming so fast that as a society, we're struggling to keep up and understanding how to reduce the risks. So one of the big challenges we face is going ahead so fast that we end up with very, very complex systems that can fail because we don't understand the nature of those systems.
I think from a scientific view, the human body is it's a complex molecular machine, and aging and disease and death are molecular phenomena that can be fixed. Just as when a car gets old, you can fix it. You can replace the parts that are broken. You can repair the parts that you don't want to replace. And I think we're now at the point where we can scientifically confront the problem of ending aging and disease.
See, the reality is that the world around us is being reshaped by technology, by computing technology, in a very fundamental and an ever-accelerating way. The pace of change that we have now is the fastest that it has ever been.
And one of the things that comes up in lieu of your remarks is we're experiencing this interesting reciprocal dynamic. We're taking an organismal technology, intelligence, and moving it out into the world, into machines. And we're taking a technology and moving it into organisms, that is genetic engineering. And in both cases, one of the threats that we perceived was forfeiting understanding. So in the case of AI, huge data sets informing very large machine learning algorithms that are predictive but incomprehensible. We're in some sense addressing with CRISPR-Cas9-like technologies, but there are so many factors that there's no hope of understanding the basic genetic mechanisms. So the future, one of the challenges for the future is the absence or forfeiting of human explanation and understanding.
I think we should be very careful about artificial intelligence. If I were to guess at what our biggest existential threat is, it's probably that. And with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon.
New Zealand has been rattled by a new magnitude 6.2 earthquake off the coast of the South Island.
Good evening. New Zealand is tonight coping with yet another major earthquake and the death, damage, landslides and evacuations left in its wake.
The monstrous quake erupted near Culverden on the South Island just after midnight. Locals tell us it rattled for 2 terrifying minutes.
It was just so loud, it was like a freight train coming through the bed.
Was it an earthquake? Many people were calling our newsroom saying they felt an earthquake yesterday afternoon. Problem is, there was no earthquake.
If aliens attack us, I think we're prepared.
The Reyna brothers joked about the boom today.
And I noticed there was a lot of movement or vibration in the window, and you can actually see the curtain kind of do that kind of motion.
Beginning around 2:30 p.m. yesterday, people started calling our NBC Bay Area newsroom and USGS to see if there had been an earthquake. Did it freak you out?
Well, I didn't know what to make of it.
We went to the USGS for answers. The experts said it's clear, no quake, but their seismographs did show motion yesterday at roughly 2:30 p.m.
Some earthquakes, they have the classic, first of all, sharp P wave, and then there's the S wave, you know.
Right.
It doesn't look like this.
These seismic lines are different.
Disturbing find in the Hamptons, a canal full of tens of thousands of dead fish. What could have caused this?
Dead fish as far as the eye can see.
There are thousands and thousands of them down there.
The sight forced many to do a double take.
I thought it was frost in the morning.
Many couldn't believe what they were seeing and smelling, lining up to watch and take pictures.
First time I've seen this my whole life.
Take a look at what we saw here in New York this Monday morning.
Did you see this today? There was this plane just circling the metro.
It's the airplane that has thousands around Denver talking today. It's a large military aircraft called Iron 99 that circled above Denver for about an hour. Denver 7 has confirmed with the Navy this is an E-6B that serves as a floating strategic command center controlling communications with nuclear submarines, ground, and air crews. You can see the flight path. The Navy says the FAA told the aircraft to go into a holding pattern, but the FAA tells Denver 7 they never communicated with the plane. A high-ranking government official told Denver 7 the plane was on a training mission. The Navy says its missions are classified.
Ed Rieger and his family were relaxing in their front yard Tuesday night until a loud noise down the block startled them.
And I turned and looked because I saw light.
3 bright lights heading their way.
Coming in, it's moving pretty slow, so it's kind of rumbling along.
But it wasn't a truck or a struggling car. In fact, Ed, his wife Barbara, and daughter Megan got right into the middle of the road to marvel at what was flying 1,500 feet above them. It was an Air Force C-17, one of the biggest planes on the planet.
Looked like it was coming over there. It lumbered straight down, went behind us, straight over the top of the church. You can see how tall the church is? It was up there, and it went over that is when it dropped down further.
Dozens of neighbors took to social media, voicing concerns about the C-17's unusual path to MCAS Miramar. One woman described it as the scariest encounter yet. A spokesman for MCAS Miramar told 10 News the C-17 was not off course. He said the wind patterns and onboard equipment dictated the already approved flight path. But residents like Rieger still wondered if they were off course.
You'd almost think like it was like some big flying saucer or something hovering up there.
In the last few years, something else has happened, and there are people beginning to work on something which is much broader, with much broader impact. And the easiest way to describe it is to describe the game of Go. If you're not familiar with it, it's an Asian game. It was thought to be incomputable because there's so many possibilities, right? Because it's the little pieces can be on a 19 by 19 square, and it's combinatorially impossible for computers to handle. And people were pretty sure of this. So a team that we acquired learned how to play games using computers. And what they do is you show it the game on the TV, and the computer figures out what the game is about, figures out what the game is doing, figures out who the players are, and figures out how to win and can beat the human. Right? It's pretty impressive. And they've won a series of awards for that. So with Go, they were able to build algorithms that would look at possibilities on this combinatoric space that were so complicated, and they were actually able to winnow them out. So think of this as a simple form of judgment. You know, I have all of these choices, but I was able to say I'm only going to focus on this area or this area or this area. And a lot of people believe that this, which is called reinforcement learning, is the beginning of something that's closer to our kind of intelligence.
This led Putin to withdraw from the International Criminal Court. President Duterte says the Philippines just might follow suit.
If China and Russia would decide to create a new order,
I will be the first to join.
Ring,